Okay, just to start off with injury update, Jordan Glasgow and T.Y. Hilton will both be designated to return, so they'll be on the practice field today. Obviously, it was great news on T.Y. From Tuesday when I got to that medical meeting that he was ahead of schedule, and so he'll be out there this week, and then we'll determine his status as the week goes on. But certainly excited to have T.Y. back in the fold and out on the field. Obviously that's a big emotional boost to the team, and then obviously it's Houston week, so even further. Yeah, probably not a coincidence. Yeah.
Frank, with again, normally you get the 21-day window, but it's not created equal. Can you see T.Y. being on the shorter end of?
Yeah, I could see him. We'll evaluate it as we go, but I've watched him work out. I watched him work out, over the last few days, and know he's hitting some of his normal high speed TY yardage. So we'll check it out as we go.
With the way Michael Pittman has kind of stepped up, getting T.Y. back, just how much could that open up things for all the receivers?
I do think it opens it up for everybody, because everybody knows we like to spread it around. If T.Y. is playing, everybody knows we're going to try to get him the ball. So he's a playmaker, and we know what he brings to our team. So it makes it hard. But really, what we're all about is utilizing our guys the best way we can, and and going up against a defense like this, a Lovie Smith defense. They're very disciplined. They play they play good zone coverage. They're very disciplined in their zone coverage, and then when they play man, they play aggressive. So we're going to really have to be at our best in the pass game, and utilize all the weapons that we have.
Frank, when you think back to 18, what are there similarities to where you are now and where you were then, and what feels different?
Yeah, there are similarities for sure, Zach. Just the gut-wrenching, the disappointment, just the head-scratching. Probably the expectations are a little bit higher. That just felt like they're higher expectations. You don't know the first year exactly what's going to happen. You certainly always have high expectations, but and then I think we have a more mature team. I think our roster is stronger. So I really believe that we just have to pull together week by week. Take that we can learn. Right, we've done this before. We can certainly draw from that. We know what that 1-0 mentality is, and we always say, listen, everybody talks about 1-0, but when you're 1-4, it means a little something more. So we have to draw on that.
What did you get on Rod's hip injury, and what's the outlook for him?
Yeah, we brought in some kickers today to work him out. We'll evaluate as we go. There's a little something there, but we're just going to have to see at what level, and I think we'll make a determination here, pretty soon on what we have to do. Just want to get all the information and before we pull the trigger one way or the other.
In times like this, guys will turn to the leaders, and you guys talked about this. And Carson's still a new quarterback, but has he shown it to you that he can be a guy that leads you through this? Because he's going to have to, right?
Yeah, like you said, we really draw, like, with that locker room. There are a ton of strong leaders, in that locker room. So it's the core, it's the cumulative effect of all those guys. Carson has stepped in and done a really good job of assuming his leadership role within the offense, within the team. I think it's been appropriate. It hasn't been jump in and try to take over, but it's been just in stages. You grow, you get to learn the guys, the offense, the team, and you gradually, the instinctive leadership traits that he have gradually start to show more and more.
Do you do it more by showing at first as opposed to talking?
I think there is something to that. You got to prove it on the field, and certainly there's plenty of evidence of that before he got here. So there was credibility coming in the door, but doing it here with that horseshoe on your helmet, certainly there's a lot to that.
Is there anything you've learned about Carson that you maybe didn't know about him when you were in Philadelphia together?
I think the main thing is, I don't know if it's anything, just I've been encouraged that his his work ethic and his quest to get better, is just very strong. I knew it was strong, before, but to now see it a few years later and to see that same drive, to see the same, team first mentality, and that drive to try to get better, just encouraged by that.
On Blankenship, if it's something, well, you said something, short-term, is IR a possibility, or is it not?
Yeah, we haven't, that's what we haven't quite worked out yet, so, Chap, I think whatever it is, if it's something, it's going to be short-term, hopefully. But really want to get, for me, got all the information, want to sit down with Chris and the docs and the trainers and just decide, what's the best course of action, this week.
Also, with coming off this last game with the young players, I mean, you sort of saw what Wentz can be when he's what he is, but you also got Taylor and Pippen, two young guys. You're not surprised at all by what they've done through the first 5 weeks and how they've sort of, I hate to say merged because Taylor did it last year.
I'm very, very encouraged by both those guys. We've said it. You guys know. You've seen it. I mean, Pitt just provides, playmaking, big-time playmaking ability, and then the other thing he provides is just a mental toughness that I think the team feels. We all feel that. Like when he makes plays like he made out there on Monday night, I think we feed off that. And then, Jonathan, he's also a big-time playmaker, and we all know that. Right, to be consistently successful, you need explosive plays in your offense, and those guys provide that for us. And we just need to do it. We need, as coaches, continue to need to do a good job of putting them in opportunities to create explosive plays for us.
That side about Pittman, I mean, he drug the defensive back in, had you about 3-4 yards into the end zone. That the strength of him in that type of aspect.
Yeah, no, that's something we've known about him even coming in. You could see it on his college tape. You could feel it on his college tape. And then that was quickly confirmed in week one of being here when he first walked in the door. And then you talk to him, and, at first you think he's just got a tough guy mentality. He's got a tough guy mentality. It comes through in everything he does.
It seems like even during, when you guys had the joint practices, anytime there was a skirmish, he had no problem getting up in there and, whether it's running his mouth or defending his teammates too.
Oh, no, Pitt's not going to back down from anybody. No chance.
Looked like Brock was close last week. What's your confidence level on him for this week?
I mean, it's growing. I'm hopeful, but I mean, there's no sure thing. There's no sure thing right now. We're going to see how it goes this week. And, last week I would have thought maybe for sure this week, but and that's not that we've had any setback. It's just taken a little bit of time, and we just need to see if we can get there this week or not.
You're going to be practicing today, but Braden Smith?
Yeah, same boat. It's just not going as fast as we want it to go. He's making progress. He's making progress. Like you said, we're not practicing. We're going to try to do some stuff with the guys out on the field today. We'll have an extra period where we kind of a development period where we test some of those guys out a little bit and get them working.
Is the 21-day window on Ellinger next week or this week?
It ends next Wednesday. It ends. So, right, I mean, we'll sit down with Chris. We were talking about it yesterday, knowing that it's coming up here. So whether we make a decision, later this week or the beginning of next week, the 21st, the cut day is Wednesday.
Do you guys know what you'll do with that?
No, I mean, we've talked about what those options are.
Keep 4.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about keeping 4. We've talked about, all the options. So, I mean, you have to look at, basically the options are, I mean, it's the simple math. I mean, the rules are, you guys know the rule, either Sam has to go back on IR or he has to come onto the roster. So either you're keeping 4 or you're making a move. Those are the options. Those are the ones we're talking through.
Where's Desmond Patman at in terms of coming off of IR?
Making good progress, making good progress, in his rehab workouts. We're encouraged, really optimistic about his long-term development, so I'm just keeping a good eye on him.
That Last thing we heard was that you guys were trying to decide at the beginning of the season, but you hadn't gotten a report back yet. I guess the report was serious enough that it was going to stretch further.
On Dez?
Yeah.
Yeah, initially, yes. It stretched a little bit further, but he's doing a great job and looks good. So, we're, just weighing the options as far as the right time to try to take a next step with him.